All right, welcome back, everybody. We are back. We are ready, and we are here right now, ready to go into the finals of this ESL Go4Evolve Sunday Cup. I am back once again with IG, and we also have a special guest, one of the best players in the scene right now, Challenge, the Assault player from Hard On You. Hey, welcome, Challenge.
Hey there, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great to have you on. We haven't had a chance to get you on the show before, but we always like to try and get in a special guest here or there when we can, especially when it's one of the top players in the scene, able to come in and offer some great commentary for everyone listening in and watching.
Oh, Dan, you're making me blush right now.
It's especially nice to get, somebody else besides a monster player, because that's 90% of our guests, and 90% of the people who get interviewed seem to be the monster player, so it's good to see an assault player getting some attention.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, because we weren't playing this weekend, I thought I'd take the opportunity to, kick back, watch the games, and might as well get on in the fun and see how we're going to do in this finals here. Just provide some analysts whenever I can, and well, I'm just looking forward to it. It's two teams that they've never actually reached the finals before, so bit of an upset on both sides of the bracket, and should be really good.
Yeah, it has been upset after upset today. We've said that a number of times. How much of the early tournament have you seen?
I watched quite a bit of the first few games, but I didn't see any of the more recent Eyes on You games. I only just saw that final match there that Cyril unfortunately lost, which allowed my KPV to go through.
Right.
But I've just been doing stuff here and there because of Easter, and that's just why we haven't really been playing today.
Yeah, a lot of teams shared the same sentiments. I think we only had a total of 13 teams actually show up today.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just a lot of the teams that were playing yesterday were tied out, especially when you were getting into the later stages of the bracket there. And the reason why we just decided that we weren't going to play today is because Insane, our monster player, he has to wake up at like 5 a.m. every Sunday in order to be here on time for this.
Yeah.
So we're like, have a bit of a break. You've earned it.
Wait.
Yeah, I've said a number of times today, it must be hard for you guys to keep on winning, because that seems to be all that you do. I think you've definitely earned yourselves a break. You've earned yourselves a day off. All right, and we do have the first round about to start. We will be spectating Team KPV's Inexorable playing the monster, the Kraken, with his surprising Aftershock build versus Team Sith Evolve's Hunters. Now, we did go over the picks before we went live. Let's cover them again real quick. The first round will be Refueling Tower. The second will be Distillery. And the third series of matches will be Dam. This is a best of 7 this time around, folks, for the finals. Now, what do you think about those, Will?
Well, in terms of the maps,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, no team wants to play Refueling Tower ever. Every single Hunter player hates Refueling Tower because just the way it is right now, the map's so large that it favors monsters so much. You're able to get from one side of the map so quickly and get basically 3 evolves off. The only reason why it gets through all the time is because teams just don't want to ban it. They want to use their other 2 bans on something else, and they think that the other team's always going to ban it.
Right, and so it winds up that no one bans it. That makes sense.
Yeah, no one bans it, it goes through, and the way most teams look at it is that, well, even if we don't pick a winner on this, our monster player most likely will. So it's an interesting map. Going into it, it always favours the monster, but who knows what could happen with a build like Kraken Aftershock that we've been seeing quite a lot. There's a lot of interesting things that teams can do. They can fight in some of the much more open areas around the relay, which gives them much more opportunity to get away from that Aftershock and might make that spell pretty useless. But the range on the Aftershock is so big that, I don't know, we're just going to have to see what happens.
Yeah, and we'll have to see what he does. Maybe he has been mixing up his build based on the games. We've only had the opportunity to catch one game of Inexorable's play so far, and he did pick Aftershock in Stage 2, which was really surprising. I've seen Aftershock used before, but I've always seen it come out in Stage 3.
One of the things that interests me most about his build is that he doesn't max out Aftershock at Stage 2. He only goes 2 points into it, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did.
From all the times I've seen Aftershock played competitively, it's either you go all in and take 3 points in it, or you just don't go into it at all. So that's what really interests me about how he's making it work.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing if he does it again. We do have the standard God comp from the Hunters versus Kraken once again. Let's jump into the game right now. All right, and we are just waiting for that loading screen to finish in order for us to jump into the game and actually get some action. This is the finals right here, folks. This is Team KPV versus Team Sith Evolve. Let's get some hype up in chat right here and now. If you want to see Team KPV win right here, if you want to see a team that has never made it this far, let's see some PogChamps up in chat. And if you want to see Team Sith Evolve, once again, another team that has never made it this far before, let's get... I don't know, what should we do right now? Let's get some OPs again.
Dark side. I don't know. They are Sith. Maybe the chat should join the dark side. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't even know that was an emote. It's too hard to think of new emotes on the fly.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So, PogChamps for Team KPV, and let's do some OPs for Team Sith Evolve. This is the finals. This is a best of 7. This is Inexorable as the monster player for KPV. And for Team Sith Evolve, we have Aromium on Assault playing Markov. We have Suspect on Medic playing Kyra. We have War Spirit on Support playing Cabot. And we have Ghost Patrol on Trapper playing Maggie.
With this sort of comp, it's heavily momentum-based. Without a Griffin and without a Hank, when you get to the late game, if you haven't put enough pressure onto the monster in the early game, it gets incredibly difficult to win. Just because you have no way of like reducing the amount of damage output that the monster's doing, and if you don't have him low already, then it just makes it so much harder for you. So if you're playing against...
Wow. Sorry to interrupt you there. An incredibly early stage 2 there out of the MKB monster. Really, really fast stage 2.
They do get the dust tag off. It sounds like the dome is coming down. The dome does come down right at the start of stage 2. Once again, 2 points in Aftershock. Let's see what he can do.
2 points in Aftershock, 1 in everything else. This is really an interesting spread of abilities here. I don't feel like he's going to have the traditional burst that Kraken has, but he is able to go with a couple of excellent auto attacks onto the Trapper here, pulling him down to half health and moving him away from everybody else. Unfortunately, all the momentum that he just gained out of that attack burst is lost as he is forced to disengage to try and prevent the damage coming onto him.
Yep, misses that lightning strike right there. Cabot once again trying to get that amp off with Markov coming in with the lightning gun, but they weren't super successful that second time around. He is down to 2/3 health right now, though.
You know, and I think they're punishing him well for splitting up his abilities so much. I mean, yes, it does give him a lot of utility, but unfortunately, as we're seeing here, a lot of his attacks just feel impotent. Holy cow, though, one of the wildlife taking down the Trapper. Trapper down to just a sliver of health. Medic down to a sliver as well, trying to jump in to get the men first off. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough, and Ghost Patrol looks like he's going to... Oh, my goodness. Medic goes down to the lightning strike, meant for Ghost Patrol. Wow, an absolutely phenomenal turn of events here.
But an overcommitment here on the part of Inexorable, staying in way too long. Cabot with that damage amp once again. Markov with that lightning gun, taking the monster to Amsterdam yet again. A second game in a row.
Inexorable making a terrible, terrible overcommitment there. As you said, Aegis. Just, oh my goodness. I think they're actually going to kill him on trying to run away here. Just a couple of railgun shots from Cabot is going to just end this.
No, he should be good. He's managed to get some armor on, which will prevent any chip damage, but that was just too close to come to it. Always going back in.
Going back in for the fight. They're still so low.
Their sustain is done now. They can't bring anybody back up, and Ghost Patrol is going to fall. War Spirit now, just a sliver from dead.
War Spirit able to kill him right now with the railgun if he can land those shots. He is dust tagged. All he needs is 2 more hits through a wall. 1 more, and the monster dies. Was that to wildlife or was that to a railgun? It didn't look like a railgun shot actually landed. Usually you see the blood effect and the sound effect when a railgun shot hits. I didn't hear that.
War Spirit got him then. War Spirit finished him off, yeah. The MVP of that game right there with those final few shots. If he didn't manage to get him there, he could just run away, get some armor, and then just come back in. That was just too close. That could have gone either way.
Yeah, that was an intense first round. Very, very quick, too. We had a quick stage to evolve, one dome fight, utterly demolished the monster player Inexorable. That gross overcommitment, I think, is what cost him the game. What do you think, Challenge?
I don't know, man. It was so close, that dome there, when he managed to get both the medic and I believe it was the Trappist so low over by the wildlife. I thought Sif had just thrown away the game right at that point, but they managed to keep their cool, and Cabot with that damage amp just shreds through the monster's health so fast. It's absolutely insane how much damage he can deal with that. And to just manage to get him so low, and then, honestly, if I was the Kraken at that point, I probably would have just run, but that's hindsight for you, really, because you saw what happened. But, man,
Right.
that was just too close to call right at the end there.
Yeah, we do have a saying that hindsight is 20/20 vision, meaning perfect vision. You always see the right course of action after it's already taken place. But it is very, very easy to get wrapped up in the moment. You know, when you're inside of a dome, when you're inside of a fight, I find it happen to myself very often. Anytime I play Monster, you get that tunnel vision.
He saw blood, got the medic down, he thought he could finish, and that's what cost him.
Yeah, it was
Now,
just not quite enough.
Now, an interesting question here. I keep seeing a lot of people going Maggie with the Kraken. Is that specifically for the Daisy? Because it seems like without anything to be able to pull that Kraken down out of the air, it's kind of risky to grab that, don't you think?
It's just more for the early game. Like, you have Daisy, so you always know where the monster's going to go, which completely eliminates the sneak effect off the bat. So the monster just has to run, he's not going to waste time sneaking, and you're going to be right on him. But at that point, he got the stage up off, which I was quite surprised with, because with Daisy on the team, you should just be going straight to that monster. They were splitting the map in half, which they really shouldn't do on Refueling Tower, because it's such a big map that even so, if they're right in the middle of the map and the monster's right in one of the corners, he's still going to get pretty much a free evolve off. They needed to be closer to him then, but they made it work. Don't know how they did it, but they made it work.
Oh, very precariously, that's for sure. It does look like we're going to be moving in now. I really am wondering if Maggie's going to continue her position of dominance once Crow falls in. What's your opinion on that?
Well, there's quite a substantial difference between Crow and Maggie in that it's harpoons versus slows. Like, in a dome, the harpoons do a lot more because they completely shut the monster down. The monster has to divert attention over to the harpoons and take the harpoon out before he does anything else. Whereas if the monster's slowed, he still has his traversals which he can use to move around. And in combat, his traversal recharge is high enough that I don't think it makes that much of a difference. The slow effect that Crow has is super good when chasing, though. Like, it doesn't put the monster in combat, and you can slow him up to 75%, I believe, is what the charge shot does. So you'll be able to slow him down, you can keep on him with Gobi so much, and then you're able to get the domes off. But honestly, we haven't played enough with Crow in scrims or anything like that to actually see how worthwhile he is. You'd have to take him in there and see how well he performs. But I think all of the tier 4s have potential. I think the one which maybe won't be as popular as the others would be Slim. But that's just because Slim's healing output is so low on himself, and he relies so much on being close to the monster and getting that recharge off on the healing burst as much as possible that it puts him in a really risky position.
Yeah, I definitely agree there, and we will have to wait and see to see how the Tier 4 Hunters pan out in terms of competitive play. We are jumping into round number 2 in this best of 7 right now. Once again, we will be spectating the same point of view. It will be KPV's Monster Player versus the Hunters on Team Sith Evolve. Team Sith Evolve pulling off an amazing win, a very, very quick win, no less, against Team KPV's Monster in the last round. Let's see if they can do any better this time around.
On Distillery this time, so this is pretty much the exact opposite of Refueling Tower, going from possibly the largest map in the game to what feels like the smallest map. So we're going to have to see what the Kraken can pull on this map.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he can do here.
One of the
We
things
are
about-
waiting for the rest of the team to drop in. Let's cover them real quick for any new players tuning in. We have, let's see if we can get this right, we have Aromium, the Assault, playing Markov. We have Suspect, the Medic, playing Kyra. We have War Spirit, the Support, playing Cabot. And we have Ghost Patrol, the Trapper, playing Maggie, and that is versus Team KPV's Monster, Inexorable.
Now, one of the good things about Aftershock on this map is these caves here, you can so easily knock someone back into a corner with Vortex and then follow it up with an Aftershock to the face, and there's very little the Hunters can do to avoid that. So we're going to have to see if my KPV's Monster here is going to use that to his advantage if he can get to stage 2 and if he can fight within these caves here. We're going to have to see, maybe Sif won't be willing to take a fight in these caves, maybe they're going to expect that that's what he's going to do.
All right, I have to interrupt you here. Fantastic sneak pounce here on Assault is going to leave them in a very interesting position. He decides to abandon the sneak pounce, being able to sniff and see that the Trapper's out of position. I apologize. Go ahead. I thought that was going to make something happen a little bit faster than it did. Ghost Patrol really wasn't able to capitalize on that, though.
Yep, he just needed to get out of there. Like, he didn't want the dome to come down and not stage 1 and not in that area there, because there's very little area he can run to hide. So good choice from the Monster there. Just get out. That's what he needs to do. He needs to get to stage 2.
Yeah, I don't think you ever want to be domed as a Kraken stage 1. Well, I don't think you ever want to be domed as any monster stage 1.
That's certainly right. But
And look at that.
even so, they're running the exact same comp, so they need to get this early game aggression on, and they need to get this early game punish on, so that they still have an advantage going into the late game. Like right now, if he manages to get the stage up off, they're actually quite close. Maybe they can get the dome on him.
I was just going to say, Inexorable, having a lot of pressure put on him right now. Fully ready to evolve, but definitely not feeling comfortable enough to do so. He's probably going to try and take it here in this cave system. A pretty classic choice for monsters, simply because there is a little bit of food back here, and it does give him the option to dodge out one way or the other, depending on which way the Trapper goes. But I think
cancels the stage 2. Sorry to interrupt
Yeah.
right there, but he cancels that stage 2, seeing them closing in too much. He wants to play it safe. I think he's a little bit surprised by their aggression the last game.
Wow, and you know what? Assault just tanking the damage up inside here, giving War Spirit a chance to get around the outside and give him a chance to support it. I don't think, however, the Trapper is in a good enough position. It looks like Trapper was going directly into the middle hole there, which is kind of what the Kraken was counting on, is he's going to be able to just scoot around the outside.
Wow, look at that damage amp lightning gun combo while the trap locks him in place and they get the dome.
Dome comes down, and this is not a good position for Kraken to be in. He's either going to be inside the cave taking damage or out in the open where they're able to just rail on him with that railgun.
This is pretty much worst case scenario for Kraken right now. Kraken went into that having taken so much chip damage already from the Assault and Cabot, and then the dome just comes down on him when he has practically no armor left standing. That's just not what you want to have.
Wow.
And once again, Cabot and Markov. Look at that, once again taking the monster to Amsterdam.
Yep, pulling him down a little bit past half health. He's got a quarter of his health left now. It's almost over. I think this is going to be it. He's going to fall very, very quickly here. Almost down.
Another railgun shot is all it's going to take. Oh!
Oh wow!
And
Tyrant
Cabot
coming in to try and help finish it.
Cabot actually caught by the Tyrant for a second, but he does manage to get out, and the Hunters close out that game number 2 against KPV's Monster. Man, looking absolutely dominant against him today.
I wouldn't say they were dominant last game. It was kind of close last game. But this game, that was just too big of a mistake from the Kraken player. Like, there was nowhere he could hide in that dome. Nothing he could do. That dome was just too good. It was too good for him.
Yeah.
All right. Now, hopefully, we get to go watch at least one match of the opposite. I'd like to know how the Sith Monster's doing right now.
All right. It looks like we will be watching the other perspective right now, so we will be jumping in on the Monster player. Hold on one second.
So, Dan, what are the next 2 maps that are going to be playing? Can you remember? Or...
Yeah, well, we will have Distillery once again for round number 2, being played right now by Team Sith's Monster versus the Hunters on KPV, which we're trying to get in on. And then the final map will be, let me check my chat log here.
We got 2 more.
The final map will be...
Pending.
It will
Damn.
be one more after Distillery, because then if it's tied after that, it will go to the tiebreaker.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot. Yeah. What's the tiebreaker map?
They don't choose the tiebreaker map until it gets to that point. There'll be one more map that they will play, both teams, if that's required. And if that is required afterwards, then the team on the left of the bracket will choose either side or map, and then the team on the right of the bracket will choose what is remaining.
Whatever's
So they'll
left
either
over.
choose side or map. Yeah.
Makes sense. You know, I wasn't aware that final tiebreaker, the loser got to pick, or not the loser, but obviously the left hand side bracket. I didn't realize they got to pick the map.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it is in a best of 7 situation right now.
Yeah, so working a little bit differently than that best of 5. All right, so we are going to get to spectate the other side. This is still round 2. This is the other side of round 2. This
Wow.
will be Team KPV's Hunters versus the monster player for Team Sith Evolve, which is Bugsy.
And it's 3-0 right now in favor of Sith Evolve, which means that if Bugsy can wrap this one up, he just clinched the finals for his team.
Yeah, this will be the final game. If Bugsy wins here, then Team Sith Evolve will take first place in this Go4Evolve Sunday Cup, winning 4-0 over Team KPV.
Now, Aegis, I believe this is the first match you've ever seen Bugsy play. So let me just say, probably one of my very favorite one of my very favorite monster players in the scene today.
I believe I spectated him once during the Community Cup, which was the Trial Cup before they started the Go4Evolve series. But I don't believe I have seen him play since, so I'm looking forward to this. We'll see how they do.
Yeah, it absolutely seems like he's found a great home here at Sith.
I was playing against Bugsy actually yesterday in the monthly finals. Those games were actually casted by the SL guys, Demon and Bugsy, and they were some pretty awesome games. I will tell you now that Bugsy's a fan of the Aftershock as well, so we're probably going to see
Very
that going
cool.
into this game as well.
Very cool. I like to see Aftershock.
It's something which is really different. Like, normally you'd see Krakens going into Free Lightning, Free Banshee, and Free Vortex when they get to stage 3, but this Aftershock trend, it's really, really, really cool. Like, you go back to Alpha, and you go back to Beta.
It's gonna last. What's your opinion here? Is it gonna last after they fix the movement glitch on it currently?
I think it's very much going to be sort of like a surprise thing once the movement glitch on it's fixed. Something which teams aren't going to expect. Like, coming out of the Evolve, if you can get an Aftershock off on 3 people, when it's a level 3 Aftershock, that's 60% of their HP gone on all 3 of those people. You follow that up with some other damage, and that's going to be really strong. But I still think, after this patch, I don't think we're going to even see much Kraken after this patch, maybe. It depends how big the changes are to the Lightning Strike, which are being implemented. But I don't know, we've got to look forward and see what's going to happen next week, because next week we might only see Wraith.
Yeah, that could be interesting. We will have to wait and see. This is the second half of round 2 in this best of 5. Team Sith Evolve currently leads 3-0. If their monster player Bugsy can clench the win right here as the Kraken, they will be the champions right here versus Team KPV. Let's get some hype up in chat right now. If you guys want to see Team Sith Evolve win right here today, let's see some PogChamps up in chat. And if you want to see my KPV pull an upset here today, let's get some Swift Rage in chat right here and now. Let's cover the players. We've got Infernalish on Assault playing Markov. We've got Hymns on Medic playing Kyra. We have Memphis on Support playing Cabot. And to round off the God Comp, we have Vax on Trapper playing Maggie.
I think my KPV needs a bit more than luck to pull this back. They've got to win 3 straight games in a row and then take it to the tiebreaker to be another chance here. So let's see if they can do it.
And how mentally challenging is it to come back from something like this, especially with a monster player as good as this? I mean, you know you've played against him.
Generally, you just don't think about these things in the game. You take it game by game. That's all that matters. You just try not to think about it as much as you can. I don't know how it's going to affect these other players, but for me, it's game by game.
Yeah,
Wow,
that's
Bugsy.
exactly how you come back. You cannot let it phase you. You take it one game at a time.
Bugsy, 2 meets here from being able to evolve. They are doing an excellent job of preventing him from doing a whole lot of feeding, though.
He's going to try and close in and drop over the top of it before the Trapper's able to drop the dome, and it looks like he's going to be successful in that maneuver, moving his way back down the map.
I think he's just trying to get a feel for the Trapper right now. He was going to see, was he going to be a bit trigger happy on that dome? Could I potentially avoid it? And then I would be able to go for the stage up with no risk of getting domed coming out of the stage up. So just getting a feel for the Trapper player at the moment. At that point, he was full on armor, so if he was playing defensively inside the dome, he could take a bit of a beating and still be fine. But,
oh wow, Cabot does get a fantastic dust thing off, predicting where the monster's about to be, and drops it absolutely perfectly. Looks like he's going to be tracked for the next, 10 seconds still.
Yeah, this makes it difficult for him to go for the stage up now. He has to wait for this dust tag to go out, otherwise they're going to know his exact location when he goes to the stage up. Which buys them a bit more time, allows them to get back into a better position, seeing as the monster player has been going halfway across the map right now. And makes it even more difficult to go for the evolve.
It seems like he's going for this back bay tyrant kind of evolve spot that I see almost every Kraken I ever play on this map go for. It's a really fine spot for him. There's wildlife back there to help him just in case he does get in the engage. There's a crowbill and a tyrant within spitting distance of each other. No, it looks like he's going to turn around and go head back up the beach instead.
Yep, good use of that pillar there, breaking line of sight
good
from
read.
the rest of the team. He just smells them through, he knows where the Trapper is, and he just commits to one side, sneaks around as much as he can before they notice him, and then as soon as they see him, he just goes away using his traversals.
Yeah, that's a great read there from Bugsy.
So now, no dust tag on him, he's going to the opposite side of the map, but KPV is actually pretty close on his tail, and that's one of the things about this map is it's really difficult to open some ground up in order to get the evolve off. You almost have to expect that you're going to get caught when you're evolving on this map. So going into the caves here, it looks like maybe we're going to see the Aftershock build, and maybe he's going to try and see how much he can surprise KBV with this.
Yeah, he should be getting the evolve. He is getting it right now. I think that they will be able to catch up on him. Yeah, they're only about 50 meters away. They should be able to catch up and get a dome off. It will be inside of a caves, which, like you said, is a very dangerous spot to fight an Aftershock Kraken.
But no, he's going into Banshee Mines and Vortex.
Yep, that more traditional, that more traditional build that we've traditionally seen here in ESL. Almost everybody's gone that right up until today.
Yeah, it's because of how the sneak pounce used to work. Like, it was so strong playing a melee-based Kraken, and you would run around meleeing people and sneak pouncing and using the Banshee Mines and Vortex. But now that's changed.
Well, sorry to interrupt you there. Fantastic job here. He's got both medic and trapper down to medic and support down to half health. Doing that fantastic vortex into sneak pounce into Banshee Mine, but they're now starting to get on him. Almost got it down to about a quarter health off of them. Wow, medic about to go down. Just a sliver of health left, being tumbled, unable to heal herself.
And once again, we see that Cabot damage amp and lightning gun from Markov combo, just dishing out so much punish on him. But medic does go down. They may still stay in and fight. I think they might have the damage to finish
Daisy
this.
Almost getting the res here, but no. Memphis is about to go down as well. Daisy goes down, trying to get the res on Kyra. Kyra does finally get back up, and with Kyra getting back up, this suddenly goes from fantastic situation for Bugsy to really bad trade.
Yeah, that's not worth it at all. If he was able to kill the medic there, he could have potentially finished them off, go and get some armor, go back in. There's no way for them to be healed up. But with the medic being up there, losing all of that health for a single strike on the medic, that's not worth it at all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It looks like Bugsy has made the same mistake that Inexorable made in the last game that we saw. Just a gross overcommitment.
It's really hard sometimes when you're playing Monster not to completely see red. Once you've got one of them down, you understand that their chances of winning go down exponentially. But unfortunately, that prevents you from seeing little things like Daisy occasionally. Daisy had literally just the required amount of time in order to res before she was killed by that vortex. Just hard timing there for Bugsy.
Speaking of Daisy, Daisy's actually dead right now. And Bugsy is going to realize this because there was only two people who got down, the medic and Daisy, and Daisy managed to get the medic back up before Daisy would actually go down. So now they actually don't have any sort of way of tracking the monster.
And look at that, we have a cloaked trapper coming in. They're looking to get a cloaked dome off right here. She's got the dome ready.
Bugsy can sneak past them. There's no way for them to actually know which way he's going to
Yeah,
go.
and he's actually going to take the opportunity to try and sneak pounce Assault. Looks like Assault's going to pop his shield, preventing any damage from coming on and giving the rest of the team enough time to catch up. But will it be enough? I think I think Assault might actually go down here. No, it looks like Medic was able to get there just in time.
Yeah, and he is going to sneak away. They stayed just a little bit too far back. I think they had the perfect opportunity for a dome.
Trapper's right behind him here. Trapper's staying on him. He's staying far out. Staying far out into the coastline there. Just trying to stay as far away from the Trapper as he can. They're keeping him in combat here, which is giving him more traversals, which allows him to get away. I don't know if they should be shooting right now.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Cabot just nailing him with that railgun is keeping him in combat, and they're not doing any permanent damage to him.
If they were able to dodge all of the attacks that he was throwing out with them and get him out of combat, maybe they could have got the dome off here, but they're still really close behind him here because he stopped to eat, tried to get more armor so that he could avoid any chip damage, but even so, it's really close right now.
Wow, missing with that vortex, just not connecting with a lot of the skill shots that Bugsy's usually able to land and that we've seen him land in the previous fights. Definitely starting to show a little bit of nerve here on Bugsy's end. He's heading back to that cave system again, but he still doesn't have enough energy to evolve, and I think that he has eaten just about everything available up inside there.
Trapper's also right behind him here as well. The Trapper knows exactly where he is. He can hear him through the wall. He knows exactly where he is, and he knows exactly where he's going. Catching up with him pretty good here by cutting across the map. Bugsy having to go the long way around. But he's getting some meats inside the cave here. He could potentially get enough to stage up, but he's not going to be staging up inside those caves. That's far too risky for him after what happened last time.
No, I agree with you. I think that Bugsy's probably going to try and either force a dome or try and get a strike on Trapper before he's going to go for his stage 3, especially with how little health he's got and how exposed he's going to be as soon as he tries to pop that evolve.
Trying to bait that dome though, that's risky on the amount of HP Bugsy's in. If it goes wrong, he could lose inside that dome no matter what he does.
Alright, and it does look like he's finally able to create the distance that he needs to get away from Vax. Will it be enough, though, to secure him the time that he needs to be able to evolve?
Yeah, I don't know. He's finally getting the points to evolve. Yeah, finally, right now. We are almost 10 minutes into the game.
Excellent pressure from this MKPV team here today.
Oh, wow, Markov. Take less damage.
Markov very low, but I believe that Markov also has his personal shield ready to go.
True, but with something like this, with a Kraken going Banshee Mines and Vortex, you just can't underestimate the burst it can put out. You can be killed within a second. We saw that earlier in the Elevate game versus Sith. It's very
true, especially when that Kraken's placing those Banshee Mines behind you. Occasionally you can end up dying before you realize what you died to.
Yeah, one of the things that people think they can do with the Assault is I can take the damage, I can be this front line, and I can absorb everything with my personal shield. But once that personal shield's gone, you're no different from anyone else on the team.
Alright, and it looks like he's created enough distance to be able to evolve, and there are a few Reavers here in the cave, so he is going to have a couple of bars of armor by the time the Hunters do catch him. Maybe, actually. He might be able to dash out.
I don't know, this is close, he's domed. The Trapper through the dome outside of the cave was very clever, predicting his position. So now, with no armor, the only bit of health he got from staging up, this is very, very close.
Yeah, this will be a tense fight. He has no armor. He is down to almost a third health. Look at that. Cabot with the damage amp and Markov with the lightning gun. Once again, just utterly demolishing his health.
Markov pops a really early shield, though. Kind of a questionable move considering that I don't know. They may be able to do enough damage to make it not make any kind of difference, but it is very interesting that an Assault preemptively pops shield without a Hank on the team. Wow, a fantastic long-range lightning strike takes most of the team down to just a sliver of health. They need to be incredibly careful here as this Kraken has much more burst than they've been used to. Dome goes down, it looks like.
But he actually has a loop here, he can loop around. Pretty good for trying to stay alive as much as possible.
Oh, wow! Another fantastic lightning strike right through the crack there. Medic unable to get them up in time, and it looks like Trapper is going to go down, but at what cost? Bugsy, just a sliver of health remaining.
Good movement there.
Wow,
from the heading inside the cave. Heading inside the caves, avoiding any of the damage the Kraken can do from the outside. Perfect use of line of sight right there.
Does go down, and Bugsy is going to have a slight chance here to go ahead and grab some armor. As you can see, the survival odds are still pretty 50-50 at the moment. Well, 40-60.
He's still very close, so the Kraken has enough armor that he can sustain the chip damage from going in, and if he can get picks off, then this can very easily turn.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he needs. He needs to just wait, bide his time, and wait for a mistake on the part of the Hunters and exploit it. If he can get 1 or 2 downs in very quickly, maybe he has a chance.
But he definitely cannot allow that support assault wombo combo with that damage amp. It's just absolutely shredding his armor before he's really able to be very effective.
Yeah, and that Trapper, so on point, heading off the monster in the right direction every time. We may have another dome right here.
Dome is down. Yep,
He does dodge it, though. Look at that. Yep. He does get out just in time.
So now, KPV, they've got to decide, do we chase and do we prevent him from getting as much armor as possible, or do we go and set up? The team with Markov and Maggie, they have deployables that they need to put down, and maybe fighting in a defensible position, like on the relay, that might be beneficial for them. And it looks like that's what they're planning to do.
Yeah. I agree with you more. It's here at stage 3. It really does feel like you need to pick your fight. If you're unable to prevent the monster from armoring back up, then you need to pick your fight because he is able to do so much more burst potential.
They're going in. They want to finish it here. They don't want to give him any chance to breathe, any chance to get his armor up. Which I don't know. This could win them the game, or this could lose them outright.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I've seen so many Hunter teams caught out of position, just pushing aggression a little bit too hard. Will that happen right here, right now? Or will Bugsy be able to turn it around and clinch a win? Or will KPV actually prove that their aggression was worthwhile?
If he managed to get full armor, then he can just turn around on them, and they have no harpoon traps, they have no mine traps, they don't here now.
The dome goes down, and so does the tag, which means that they're going to be able to have full vision of him in the next 12 seconds. Cavit's going to be able to hit him with the railgun damage through the walls. This is a really risky situation for him to be in. Very, very... Oh, wow. Fantastic job repositioning himself, coming back over the top and landing a lightning strike onto Assault. Looks like another fantastic vortex, but all of the team is on point with their dodges at the moment. Daisy being the only person unable to dodge it and taking the damage there. Assault has already popped his shield though and is going to get hit by this lightning blast, taking him down to a sliver of health.
They don't want to overextend too much here. They know how close they are to winning. They don't want to give him any edge. They play it cool in this dome. They have the time. Just such a sliver of HP left from the Kraken.
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be all she wrote for Bugsy here, which means that we are going to get to see at least one more set of games. Oh, wow, but Medic goes down. I don't know. I don't know if he can pull this off, though. So little health here. Such skill, though, dancing on the edge of death for so long. If he can armor up and come back...
One more shot is all it's going to take.
Oh, that's it.
And the machine gun finishes him off. Wow. Great job from Team KPV's Hunters, clinching their first win. This is a best of 7. That was Team KPV's first win. The score is currently 3-1. So if KPV wants to push this into a tiebreaker, they need to win the next 2 games. Both of these games may be played simultaneously. Let me check with the teams right now.
46k healing in that match. Hims doing a fantastic job.
But this is where it gets difficult. KPV need to win both of their games, their Hunter game and their Monster game. And will their Monster player be able to bring it to rise to the challenge? Oh, we'll have to wait and see.
All right, we are going to stick with Team KPV's Hunters for this next game, and then possibly catch their Kraken right after that. So let's see. It looks like we are loading up, I think. All right, in this final round... This next 2 games will be on, what did we say, the Dam, I think. Is that correct? Yes, the Dam will be the next series of games. This is a best of 7 right now, folks. This is the finals of the ESL Go4Evolve Sunday Cup. Thank you all for coming by. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to Evolve Game for the host and the support, with DB Sinclair unable to make it today since he is out on travel, so he wasn't able to co-cast the finals like he has previously, but showing his love, showing his support for the Evolve community, for the game, and for these ESL Sunday Cups. Thank you so much, DB. And it looks like we will be starting this game in just a moment. They do still have the map set to Distillery, so they will need to change that to Dam. If this is your first time tuning in, folks, and you like what you see, if you enjoy the channel, if you want to support the channel, a great way to do it is to hit that follow button down below. It's completely free. All you have to do is click on it. You will get notified anytime the channel goes live, whether it's for one of the tournaments that we cast or any other cast throughout the week. You can also follow us on Twitter and YouTube down below. Definitely follow the Twitter since we have constant updates on there. And all the old VODs are being uploaded to YouTube and are in the process of it. We have a number of past cups already up there.
So, third map on the Dam. This is really difficult for the monster player now.
Yeah.
This map's so small, it's pretty much exactly the same as Distillery in terms of size, but it's so easy to traverse across. And there's such limited wildlife on this map. One of the strategies that we actually use on this map is we just kill anything we see if we have a cabot on our team. Just limit the monster's supply of food as much as possible, makes it even more difficult for him to stage up. And going into the late game makes it even more harder for him, to get his armor up when he's coming in to assault on the relay.
Yeah, you're right. So many monster players do not like the Dam, and it's no surprise. Monsters very rarely seem to pull off wins on the Dam anymore.
It's a map which doesn't suit the Kraken at all. The Kraken needs these long maps so that he's able to get the distance in between him, because his traversals aren't as much of a burst as they are on Goliath or Wraith. Wraith can speed across the map much faster than the Kraken can.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I see a lot of Goliaths don't like the map either. They feel like it's too hard to traverse north to south or vice versa across that river.
It's just very difficult to get the hunters where you need to get them in order for you to be able to go across the entire area of the map and get your stage up off. Because you either get trapped inside what we like to call the feeding grounds, which is on the side of the map where all the Dune Beetles and Megamath spawn, or you get trapped on the opposite side of the map. And if you're trapped there, that means the hunters are walling you in. So them committing it into you is never going to happen. You have to go past them. And even so, on that point, they're already 3/4 of the way towards going to the opposite side of the map. It's so difficult to get stage ups off on this map without taking damage.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. And for those of you just tuning in, if you missed the beginning of this series, this best of 7 series, currently tied 3-1, the guest caster providing commentary right now is Challenge. He is the assault player for Team HOI. That's hard on you. The team with the best record in the league so far. They won the monthly cup just yesterday. They've won a number of the Sunday Cups already, looking to continue that legacy next week. But they were taking this Sunday, this Easter Sunday, off to just take a break, relax, spend some time with family, or do whatever. So Challenge did offer to come on the show and provide some commentary for the finals. Thank you once again, dude, for coming on. It's been awesome talking to you.
Yep, rest assured, teams will be back next week, so don't worry.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, we definitely want to see more of that amazing HOI gameplay.
Mm-hmm. So now the question remains: is this monster are the monster players? Are they going to play Kraken on this map, or are they going to switch it up? KPV's monster.
No, they did go with Kraken.
Find something. Well, this is Bugsy here from Team Sif, so he's going to go with what he knows.
Yeah. And I think we're just going to see the same God Comp. No, they're backing out. Maybe they actually changed those picks up.
One of the things which is actually interesting on this map is the cave section is so good for the Aftershock build. It's very you can trap people on the walls in the cave, Aftershock them, and the Aftershock covers the whole distance of those caverns. So it's very, very difficult to escape out of it. We're going to have to see if Bugsy is going to use this to his advantage or not.
Yeah, we will have to see what he does. We are here in-game right now. This is Bugsy, the monster player for Team Sith Evolve, looking to clinch their first Sunday Cup victory, their first place finish.
Game 5 of 7.
Yes, game 5 of 7 versus Team KPV's Hunters. All right, and the Kraken just taking off right off the bat, looking to sneak up around the south side of the map, get as much food as possible.
He does trigger birds there. I feel like he's probably trying to just do this rage feed strategy and get as much feed as possible in. Maybe lay a little bit of a false trail. I don't know. Maybe start sneaking after the birds, since he did drop them before the hunters actually dropped out of the dropship. So I don't know here. But if I know Bugsy, what he generally likes to do is take something like feed speed and just try and feed essentially 60 yards in front of the hunters. I don't know if they've been allowing him to do that, though. These guys put excellent pressure and really do an excellent job of preventing him from feeding. Last time he got stage 2 pretty quickly, but stage 3 took him forever.
Well, on this map here, he's already ready. He's already almost ready for the stage up. They have caught eyes of him though, so we'll have to see, can this assault stick on him as much? Nope. He's ready for the stage up now. So the question is he going to try and dodge the dome from the trapper? Is he going to try and get a strike with the armor that he's got, or is he just going to try and get to the opposite side of the map and get the evolve off and take as little damage as possible coming out of it?
Look at that, 1 minute and 20 seconds, and he already has enough points to evolve to stage 2. Great speed right there.
That area of the map is so good, just for getting food and just getting the stage up off as quickly as possible. If you go to that area of the map, like 9 times out of 10, you will be ready for the stage up before the hunters even see you.
And it looks like he's able to cross the river pretty quickly and without a whole lot of contest. And Trapper is by far the closest to the Kraken, which, like, well, it's great for Trapper to come in and try and get a dome. If she were to dome him right now, she would be quite a ways from anybody who could really help her.
I don't like that he was sneaking there, though. You can't sneak from Daisy. Daisy's just going to follow you right there. It was quite a waste of time from the Kraken there. He could have got further across towards the dam maybe, and maybe got the stage up there. But sneaking, slowing him down, and just doesn't achieve anything with Daisy on your backside like that.
Yeah, especially not when you're going to have to zigzag back and forth through the center of the map. As you can saw, they had one hunter just waiting there and pinged him as he crossed. They definitely have an excellent idea where he's at.
And he does go for the evolve. No, he cancels the evolve. Great play there. Yeah, they were way too close.
Moving in.
I think Bugsy has some bad memories from this map, because this is the map that we actually played him on in the tiebreaker, and we beat him in order to go through yesterday to the semi-finals. So he's going to look to not make the same mistakes he made last match, which was just that. He evolved too aggressively, and we were able to capitalise off it. So we're going to see he's going to play a lot more safe this time, hopefully.
All right, and if he's able to actually move away here, oh wow, getting some good damage in, though on the assault. I question this. I mean, he's flying a lot slower facing that direction. It's just interesting. Maybe he was waiting for them to shoot him and replenish his traversals.
Well, that's why he's firing out of them. He wants to be put in combat himself. But even so, the Trapper's just gotten stuck on this corner of the map now. We can see the Trapper out there away from the rest of the team. The team's forcing him into this corner here, and that's going to make it even more difficult for him to escape right now.
Lots of just great positioning pressure coming out of coming out of this Hunter team.
Yeah, they have done a great job pressuring him. Look at that. 1 minute and 20 seconds, he had enough points to evolve. It has been almost 3 minutes since that point now, and he still hasn't been able to pull it off. He is still stuck at stage 1.
Trying to bait the dome there, actually, but the Trapper player was having none of it. Kept his patience, kept his cool.
That's exactly what he needs to do. He needs to bait that dome out, but Vax, the Trapper player, is not falling for it.
At this point, this is when it gets even more frustrating for him now. Trying to escape now, going across the edge of the map, and it looks like he might actually get away from the Trapper player. But even so, getting away from him and getting enough space in order to get the evolve off, they're two completely different things. Vax here actually just cutting straight across the center of the map. He can see the Kraken over there by the dam buildings, and it's just so difficult for the Kraken to get away. Like, they keep doing this, how is he going to get the evolve off?
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job of being able to keep eyes on him and then being able to predict where his movements are going to go and then choosing the angles to be able to cut him off. That Trapper, though, running pretty solo. So I'm worried about the strategy that they're currently taking right now. As soon as Kraken does get the stage up to stage 2, if he is ever able to, he's going to have the ability to just turn around and burst Maggie down.
This is where it gets frustrating for Bugsy, though. He's had this evolve ready for so long, and he just hasn't been able to get the opportune moment in order to do so. maybe he needs to actually just get domed in the perfect place for him to just run around and fight and take as little damage as possible. Maybe that's what he needs to do right now. Just get that dome down, take as little damage as possible, and then maybe he'll be able to go for the evolve.
Maybe so, but it almost feels like he's just wasted this first 5 minutes being forced around the map by this Hunter team.
Yeah, and that's just going to lay down on him now. It's going to become even more stressful for him.
Yeah, that has got to be rough as a monster player. When you get an evolve, or when you have the opportunity to evolve so early on, and you just can't take it due to the pressure of your hunters.
Fortunate enough there, the dust tag missed, and he might actually be able to get away here and get in a place where hunters won't know exactly where he's evolving. If he evolves with the dust tag on him, they know exactly where he is. They can have Cabot shooting him through the walls to take as much chip damage as possible. But even so, they're right behind him. He just still can't go for this evolve.
Yeah, I think they knew exactly where he was going to go. Every monster seems to like to evolve there when they have the opportunity. And he does come in hard on Cabot right there, taking him down just below half.
Hunter team doing an excellent job at getting the reads here. I think that that's essentially like what they're doing different from the other matches. They seem to be able to completely and utterly read where Bugsy is going to want to go. Better so than most Hunter teams that I've seen for a while. Though he does manage to get Assault pretty separated there with that Vortex Blast. With the Vortex, there's not a whole lot he can do to follow it up.
But once again, look at Vax, the Trapper. Just always staying back, always in the right position to head the monster off.
Vax is playing the game of his life right now. He's doing this absolutely flawlessly. His positioning is almost perfect. And just with how well Vax is playing, he just can't do anything. Because he just can't do anything to get away from this Trapper right now.
Yeah, he really can't. You're right, he is playing almost perfect. Oh, and he's going to go for the evolve right here.
This evolve is bad.
Nope,
Yeah,
he cancels it. He realizes it.
And I feel like a lesser monster would have probably already gotten domed several times right now. So I want to say that, like, even though Bugsy is in a really terrible position and has a lot of stress put on him, it's phenomenal to watch the way he's continually able to juke them for 7 to 8 minutes now of solid stage 1 jukes.
But 7 to 8 minutes and he's still stage 1. He's running out of time now, and this is getting almost ridiculous. You could see right there that evolve was just bad. That's
finally,
not an evolve.
finally, I think he's finally got enough space here. If he's able to move to the back side of this, yep, and he's bursted down some wildlife there. Maybe, nope. Looks like they've closed the distance again.
Yeah,
he's going to go for the evolve now, though. He has no choice. He's wasted enough time as it is. He just needs to commit to it now. And there we go.
And he did it. Yeah, there's the commit right there. They will get a dome off here, I believe. Yep, we can hear it coming down right now. This is going to be a stage 2 dome. No armor on the Kraken. They're already laying into him, and now we have the action.
All right, Trapper's probably going to be his primary focus as we move into the fight here. And, he's swinging big auto attacks that these groups have already grouped up Hunters. And these Hunters, though they've done an excellent job of positioning throughout chasing, they're staying incredibly grouped up for fighting a Kraken at the moment. Though, feeling really confident, they've already got him down to half health. Oh man, this is just not a great position for Bugsy. Had he had a little bit of armor, this might be a different situation, but...
And once again, that damage amp and lightning gun, they are making short work of his health here. He is down to almost 1/3 of his permanent life bar. And they are still on him with that damage amp and lightning gun. This is insane. They're going to finish him right here if he doesn't move away right now.
No, this is Bugsy, Aegis. Instead of Blue insane. Never mind.
This is insane. I get it.
All right, just a sliver of health left now for Bugsy. I think it's all over but the crying, and we may see an interesting comeback, depending on what happens on the other side of the bracket.
And look at that, even Medic switching to those napalm grenades to dish out whatever damage she can.
So that was just stress getting to Bugsy. Like, he'll look at that later and he'll be like, why did I go for that evolve? I should have just baited the dome in a good position, then just ran and evolved before they even had the dome back off again. But that's just how it is. You're not thinking these things through right here. You just get so stressed out. You could see earlier when he tried to go for the evolve at the top of the hills, and that was just a terrible place to evolve, and he knew that. All of a sudden he just cancelled it immediately. But
just a great example of nearly flawless Hunter play. Wow.
Okay, and he's going to duck back the other way now, deciding proceeding downhill is not the best course of action for him.
So he's got armor now, so he can sustain the chip damage that they're going to give to him. And maybe he can get the Trapper down here. Actually.
He may get Vax down here. No, the burst heal keeps Vax up for now. Back to almost half-life. There we go. Okay.
Goes down.
Goes down
Yep,
though, and
he's
this is
done
very,
again.
very risky. He needs to get that Trapper down. He has no other option. Doesn't have enough armor in order to sustain the chip that they're going to do to him inside the dome. He has to get that Trapper down.
They're trying desperately to flail at that Trapper, but it almost feels like the medic is kind of heel trolling a little bit, trying to keep the Trapper slightly low.
Once again, the positioning from Cabot and Markov, the lightning gun damage amp combo right there, utterly annihilating his armor. We haven't mentioned this too much, but man, Infernalish is doing an amazing job always staying on these monster players in every game that we've seen, always there to dish out as much damage as possible, and switching to that machine gun when he's too far away.
Completely agreed there, Aegis. Bugsy has done just about everything he can here, and it's not going to be enough. There we see it again. GG.
Wow. GG. So KPV takes another win off of Team Sith Evolve after being down 3-0. The score is now 3-2, and we will be moving into a 6th game. We may see a best of 7, 7th game tiebreaker here if KPV can pull off another win.
But even so, we saw what they did to Bugsy just then, and even though KPV's monster player is going to be happy that they actually managed to win that game,
It's all on him now.
Yeah, he has to do what Bugsy couldn't, and is he going to be able to do that? Is he going to try and bring out a different monster, maybe go Wraithfog Goliath? Because he's seen there that just Kraken doesn't work. Bugsy, even though he was ready to evolve after 1.5 minutes, just didn't get the evolve off until at least 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I agree with what you said earlier on. This is definitely a map that is weighted against Kraken. It's so easy for the hunters to be able to spot him, and there's nowhere, in order to cross the map, he's got to fly, because sneaking's not going to work against Daisy. And in order to fly, he has to make noise and highlight himself on a map where they can essentially see from one end to the other in the direct middle. It's a terrible situation to put yourself in as a Kraken.
All right, and we're going right into game number 6 right now. This will be Team KPV's monster player, who has yet to eke out a win against Team Sith Evolve's Hunters. He will be trying to do that once again right here, right now. If he can pull off that win, we will have a deciding tiebreaker round in this best of 7, a 7th and final game. Let's get some hype up in chat for both of these teams. If you guys want to see Team Sith Evolve win, let's see some PogChamps. And if you want to see Inexorable, the monster player for Team KPV, bring his team back into a final deciding tiebreaker round, let's get some swift rage. And here we go on the loading screen, just about to load into the final, what could be the final game right here. This is the ESL Go4Evolve Sunday Cup Finals right here, folks. This is a best of 7. Once again, this is game number 6.
And another Kraken pick. The exact same composition we've seen every other match this time.
Yeah. Yeah, now, we do know that Inexorable has shown his willingness to switch up his build when needed. Will it pay off for him, though, this time? Will he actually be able to play it properly and pull a win off against this Sith Evolve Hunter team?
Well, Inexorable was going to have been watching that game just then with Bugsy, and he's going to have seen how difficult it was for Bugsy to get that stage up off. Whether he's got something planned that allows him to get the stage up, he's got an ace up his sleeve, we'll have to wait and see, but he needs a plan going into this.
I'm really interested to see what he goes as far as build. I would expect to see Lightning Strike come a little early on this map, just because it's easier to land those abilities in the tight areas and the tight spaces. There's not so much space for these hunters to be able to dodge out of the way. I don't feel like Aftershock is a very good choice for them here, even though there are tight spaces. It's just giving that damage amp and lightning gun way more time to do work than it should.
I think if he goes 3 into Banshee and 3 into Vortex, provided the Team Sif are able to get a couple of domes up in when he gets to stage 2 and such, he just loses. Markov counters the Banshee Mines too hard with his lightning gun, doing the chain damage and destroying them instantly. He needs lightning strike, or he needs something other than just maxing out those Banshee Mines and Vortex, because even though it's a great build against someone like Hyde, Markov just hard counters it so hard.
All right, it looks like he is going to pick up a quick, about half evolve energy before he does trigger birds. Fortunately, those are random birds just from how much he's eaten out in the open. Very interesting to see him. He kind of lost them in the beginning just due to his speed and the way that he went over the river, but it looks like he is not going to try and go for a cave system like you see a lot of Krakens try and do in the early game. He is going to see them approaching, going to throw a Vortex down the tunnel and try and gain a little bit more feed. Very close to being able to evolve here. He does sniff out the Trapper inside the cave system, which means that he's got a little bit of an advantage as far as his positioning goes. He can try and still dodge this. Yep, and there we see him dodging through the center. And it's very interesting because they've done something here that the other team didn't do. The other team kept somebody near the center of the map almost the entire time, so that when they did decide to switch from one side to the other, it was much more fluid and swift. This time, almost the whole team's on the other side there. I feel like he might not have the same evolve problem that they had last time.
I don't know, he's stuck in this area now. Ghost Patrol's moved over towards the dam to cut off his exit that way. He has to go straight through the other 3 members of the team. Right
Yeah, I
here,
think he's going to go right over the top
doing.
of War Spirit. Yep.
He is doing, yeah, so Ghost Patrol caught out of position there. He was caught wrong there, just in the complete wrong position. He should have tried to stay within the middle of the 2 places and then moved to whichever way the Kraken committed to. Had the pings coming out from his team, but...
He's picked up enough energy to evolve and he's running to the far side of the map now.
But he's sneaking. Why are you sneaking against Daisy in this sort of location?
Yeah, he's way too close.
But even so, Cabot's just shooting him with the railgun through the wall. They know exactly where he is. This isn't achieving anything. He had a perfect opportunity there to go to the opposite side of the map and get the evolve off, and he probably would have taken very little chip damage. But
yeah, he blew it.
I just don't like this at all. I just think against a team like this with Daisy, if you're not going to be using water when you're sneaking so that you can mask the scent, and Daisy has no clue where you are, it's just not worth it.
I agree with you. You need rage feed here.
All right, and we have a stage 1 dome down now, yeah.
You know what, I wonder if maybe this was the better option here. He's picked a place where Kraken is able to do a lot of, able to move around a lot, able to get under cover a lot. He's got full armor. He's engaging on his terms, and he's ready to evolve once the dome goes down. I wonder if that might have been the better choice in the last game for Kong instead of trying to just escape the whole time.
Oh, I definitely think it is. He can stay as far away from the assault as possible here and just force the assault to use his assault rifle as much as possible and stay off the lightning gun, which he can use to his advantage. We have to see if he has any loops here that he can use in order to kite the people around, but even so, they're not doing as much damage output as KPV were doing in the last game. He's actually playing this quite well. But
yeah, it's because of that massive ravine splitting the entire dome in half. He can cross from one side to the other and force the assault to waste all of his jetpack.
I don't like how open he is being here though right now. He's taking all the damage from Cabot and the assault rifle and Maggie's machine pistol. It's very risky. He should have just tried to line of sight them as much as possible in this dome, and then as soon as the dome goes down, he could hightail it to the opposite end of the map, try and get the evolve off. He did take
Alright, he's lost a quarter
of his health. Yeah, and that's not that bad. I mean, if you can get the evolve off now, it'll be worth it without taking any more chip damage. But I don't know, it's very, very risky.
As they continue to plink away at him from range, taking him almost down to half.
Yeah, the problem with him being domed there was that was right in the middle of the map. So he couldn't go to one of the corners and get as much space as he needed to evolve. He's going to try to now, which I believe he should do. But even so, he's wasted quite a bit of time here now, and I'm not sure on the exact timing, but the dome might be coming a cooldown by the time he's coming out of that evolve.
Yeah, and I mean, based on where he was when they fought, they know exactly where he's going to evolve, even if they couldn't see him.
It's sad. It's sad.
He hasn't been able. He hasn't been able to evolve.
It felt like a decent strategy there at the beginning, and this Hunter team has just been able to continue to keep up the pressure. Oh wow, Maggie caught all by. Oh yeah, no.
She gets the dome once again, and Cavett comes in with the amp. Markov with the lightning gun.
Armor completely stripped off already. They're already getting directly into health gun damage. Kraken is going to try and focus down hard on this Maggie, but she's going to be placing those traps and just running around. Yep.
Yeah, this is very, very bad for the Kraken right now. Cabot and Markov, they can just go mad on him. It's only a stage 1 Kraken, his damage output isn't going to be too good, so they can do as much damage as they like to him here. This is very, very, very bad for the Kraken right now.
Yeah, down to 1/3 of his stage 1 health bar right now. Just a little bit more damage will finish him off and seal the deal for Team Sith Evolve.
It does look like he's able to get up. Nope, this is going to be it right here.
And there we have it. It's Team Sith taking the win, and as such taking the weekly championship.
Yeah, there we go. Team Sith clenching their very first championship win in the Sunday Cup ever. Good job to them, and great play from Team KPV's part. Both teams winning a little bit of cash here today.
Yeah, a great play from both of them, but as soon as the Kraken for KPV lost his game on refueling tower, he was definitely on the back foot. Losing a game on a map like that just shouldn't happen. He tried to do the all-in, didn't work out, and then you're going into 2 maps which are far more hunter-favoured, and if you can't take the win on refueling tower, then you sure as hell can't take the win on distillery or on the dam.
Yeah, absolutely not. You're 100% right about that. That it was the least monster-favored map in the entire map pool right there. Not much that he could do, I guess, in that situation. That's a great point. If you can't take the win in the other 2 maps, what can you do on the dam? But he did try his best, and that was some phenomenal play we saw today. I'm really impressed by both teams. Just so many upsets, so many very, very close calls. It just blows my mind, actually, how well those guys played. I mean, KPV upsetting Eyes on You in the semifinals to advance, and Team Sith upsetting Elevate in a way to advance. Well, or Team Elevate first upsetting Wolves and then getting upset by Team Sith. Just a really back and forth, surprising series of games here today. I'm glad that we could bring you on the show for the finals here today, Challenge. Thank you so much for joining us and adding your pro player commentary to the cast. And you said we will be seeing HOY next week, right?
Yep, for sure.
Awesome. We are looking forward to that. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This will conclude the regular broadcast for the Go4Evolve Sunday Cup. Before we end, we will talk a little bit about Stage 3. It will be a podcast featuring myself, Insane521, and the Guidance. We will rotate hosts on all 3 of our channels. If one of the mods wants to link all 3 of those channels here in chat, make sure you follow all 3 channels. That way you can catch every broadcast that we put on. We will be covering a variety of topics. It won't just be competitive gameplay. It will be anything and everything related to Evolve, varying from week to week, with different guests that we can get on the show. As things play out, we will take it 1 week at a time, essentially, and see who we can get on the show. We're really looking forward to putting it on for you. Our goal is to have the first broadcast this week. We have still yet to set a date and time. That will be finalized tomorrow, and those dates and times will be announced on all 3 of our channels. Insane. There we go. Okay, so you got your 2 channels. Yep. And then, of course, you can follow this channel as well, where the first broadcast will be. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Once this show is over, we will be bringing the broadcast right back up with the normal graphics, and we will be playing some games here as well still. So stick around if you want to see some other maybe new and different games that you haven't seen before. Thanks, everyone, again for tuning in, and we hope to see you later this week on Stage 3.